and we'll be back for more sport later on. Now, let's return to one of the main stories. We have private companies, charities, who might be allowed to supervise low-risk offenders on probation in England and Wales, under plans announced by the government. Pretty radical reforms we're talking about. Now, the group Blue Sky is a social enterprise which employs ex-offenders. The founder and chief executive is Mick May, who's with me. We also have Steve Finn, an ex-offender who found work through the organisation and is now a mentor for others, and they're going to help explain how this might work. Good to see you, gentlemen. Thank you both for coming in.
Pleasure.
First of all, Mick, let's talk about the kind of nature of this reform, because for lots of people it'll sound very radical. It'll sound as if the whole system is being turned upside down. Should they be concerned about it? Is there a risk to the public in this kind of reform?
I can easily see why people might be concerned. The truth is that the voluntary sector is doing a huge amount of work in this space anyway, and has been doing so for some time. Indeed, I think if you go far back far enough, I believe that the Probation Service itself started out as a voluntary organisation. So, to a certain extent, I can understand why. But I think when you get closer to it, you'll see that a lot of the work that organisations like Blue Sky do is already being done by the voluntary sector.
How did Blue Sky help you? How does this kind of setup, in your experience as an ex-offender, Steve, how did you make the transition to what you're doing now?
Many moons ago, I was looking for a job. I couldn't find a job because of my criminal record. I was very fortunate enough to get a job through, if you like, the back door through an old friend of mine, painting railings for £4 an hour. I then ended up a 10-year career at the Royal Parks, and then I met Mick May here, who, with his brainchild, thought up the concept of Blue Sky after learning about my experiences. So what we do at Blue Sky, first of all, we give you a job. Then we give you on-the-job training and mentoring, and our sole purpose is to get you into further employment 6 months down the line.
What's the rate? I mean, this is the crucial question. We're talking here about you know, very high rates of reoffending normally in England and Wales. What is your track record?
Okay, well, let's just start with what a job does for someone.
Yeah.
Getting someone who's been in prison a job reduces the probability that that person will reoffend by 50%. So let's go for the big target.
It's huge, yeah.
It's huge. Our reoffending rate is about a quarter of the national average. So that would seem to prove...
12%,
yeah,
roughly?
that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which is something you must be very proud of.
I'm very proud of the whole team. It's a team effort.
Of course it is. I mean, you and the team. Within that, then, in order to achieve that, you provide employment.
Yeah.
What else are you providing around that to make sure that the reoffending doesn't happen?
Well, two things happen when someone gets a job. The first thing that takes place is they get money in their pocket, and that alone will reduce reoffending. And the second thing is that people get esteem, and a lot of this is all about pride. And once you believe you can do something, you usually will. As Theodore Roosevelt said, believe you can and you're halfway there.
Well, Steve, that belief, Steve, is all important, I imagine. Just thinking, when you are a mentor for people, what are the main challenges you face? They're coming to you with, I would have thought, one of the main concerns, which is that a criminal record, even for what we call low-risk offenders, is a criminal record, and that'll put people off come what may.
Absolutely. Having a criminal record doesn't mean a lifetime of unemployment. Many of the guys and girls that come to me have tried no end to gain employment. They've had the doors shut in their faces many a time. They meet us at Blue Sky, and next thing, you know, there's no secrets at Blue Sky. We've all been there, we've all done it, and they can open themselves up, and that is just giving them back their self-worth and their self-commitment. It shines through once you give them a pair of steel toe cap boots and put a strimmer in their hand or a hedge cutter, and yeah, we mentor 8 hours a day.
An important point here, which is to do with the scale of this reform. Okay, so you've explained the components of your success. When we look at what the government's trying to do here, you know, across a wide area, geographically as well as in terms of policy, that's where you begin to ask questions about, can the system sustain that kind of radical change? What do you think?
I think if you look at what's achievable, then great steps can be made quite quickly. So if you look at the sector of the labour market in which we're involved, there are actually quite a lot of jobs around. They're spread all over the country. They're low-skilled, which is good for people who are coming out of prison, many of whom may not be able to read or write. And they are usually available at no extra cost to the government, because the government is already paying through local authorities or through the NHS. So I think there are some fairly impressive bits of scale that could be built in quickly, yes.
In a sentence, Steve, what's your message to ex-offenders watching who are looking for a job, who haven't got one? What's your advice to them?
Keep at it, keep plugging. It will change, your luck will change, but never give up. Never give up. Even to that bit of temptation that might be just hanging around that corner, just keep going. You'll be a better man, better person for it.
Good to talk to you both. Thanks for giving your time today. Thank you very much. Thank you.